We're back with a Fox News alert. New reports revealing that the gunman who tried to kill former President Trump flew a drone over the Pennsylvania rally site before the assassination attempt. Our next guest got a chance to speak with the Butler Township Commissioner about what happened that day.
So if I'm hearing you right, Butler Township Police Department didn't actually have anybody physically at the event.
No, not in a capacity of protection detail or security detail. That is correct. There was no one in the event for that. We started to get information that there was a suspect and things were starting to happen. Actually, 4 of the officers that were serving in that traffic control capacity left their positions and to help engage in a search for the suspect.
Here to react, Fox News contributor and attorney Paul Murrow. Paul, thanks for being here. And it really, as is always the case, being on the ground helps you gather information you otherwise can't get. That's what reporters are supposed to do. That's what you're doing. What have you learned? There's so many details that have come out that are difficult to confirm. What stuck out at you?
So a couple of pieces of the narrative that I think have coalesced is that the 7 cops from the Butler Township, the so-called locals, as per the U.S. Secret Service, actually played a very significant role in this thing. They were given traffic posts, and when they were alerted by radio that there was a threat of some variety, they actually left those traffic posts and ran into the event. They hadn't even been in the event. They were on an egress road. 2 of them approached the building that ultimately Crooks is found on. One gives the other one a boost. The top one peeks up over the top of the roof, sees Crooks with an AR. Crooks turns towards him with the gun. The cop lets go, drops to the ground, immediately radios it in. The thinking here is that precipitated Crooks rushing his shots, took him out of his comfort zone. He knows that at that point that he's been discovered. The call has gone into the command center that Crooks has been seen. And that could very well have played a significant role here in the way things worked out.
Paul,
could have been a lot worse.
Do you have a sense of the timing of that? Was that mere minutes before the shots were fired? I mean, that's what it's hard to get. I'm trying to get my arms around the timeline.
I actually think it could be seconds.
Seconds.
I think that he hit the ground and called it in, and Crooks realized, okay, I better get set and do what I got to do here. The question you're asking, though, is very perceptive, because that really is the issue. How long did they know that threat was there? They reportedly had acquired him as a suspicious 10 to 11 minutes earlier. Why wasn't that circulated? Why was Donald Trump still brought out onto stage? And you got to say to yourself, too, where was the pre-event scanning that we hear so much about? Site surveys is what Secret Service calls it. Done them myself with them. Somehow or other, it seems like Thomas Crooks did a better site survey than the service did, because he secreted, according to the latest reporting, an AR-15 on the roof, and he had a drone up, which the service, in fact, none of the assets that were present at the event had.
It just looks like so many things were missed. If there's something that was stashed, like you said, if there was a drone that was flown. Also, you've got the video of the Trump supporters pointing him out on the roof. If it was just seconds that the police got him, well, that was even before the police were able to look up. So much time lost, and yet they let him go on stage, which is one of the many questions that'll be facing this U.S. Secret Service Director, Kimberly Cheadle. She's going to come before the House Oversight Committee. You know, you've been a part of securing a lot of sites yourself. Ultimately, the buck stops with the person at the top. Do you think she'll take that kind of tone?
You know, she hasn't to this point. The service wasn't present, would have been right within her remit to order a service officer to be at that press conference the day of. It took 6 hours to get a press conference, but at least we got something, and really the Pennsylvania State Police ran it. Service didn't give a comment. They haven't come out and given a public comment since. And, you know, when you consider the fact that the RNC is a national security event, you don't get too many of those during the year, and it only occurs once every 4 years. And she had chosen to be in Aspen for a security conference on Wednesday in the middle of the event. That tells me that for whatever reason, there was a lot of slippage at the top. It doesn't seem to have been taken seriously. It was under-resourced. They expected at least 20,000 people. The story goes here that we're hearing is they got a lot more. 240 people alone had to get removed because of heat exhaustion. So the numbers were big. It does not seem like the planning, the execution, none of that went very well.
The numbers were big, and we're being told now only 22 Secret Service agents in total on the ground, plus other assets. But definitely not enough.
The
Paul Murrow.
ops plan, if I could just loop,
yes.
if I could just close that loop, the operations plan is what they need to get at this event. If she doesn't come across the operations plan, at least to the senators and Congress people that are quizzing her, we know there's something to hide. That plan will tell us everything.
Interesting. Paul, thank you so much.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.